For tomorrow's class, we're going to have a quiz. It will be on our most recent material as well as a recap of solving the multi-step equations. So again, multi-step equations, which we'll do a couple examples of today, as well as rewriting equations in two variables, which we said was solving for y in terms of x. In order to receive full credit for any of the problems, you need to show all your work. And this quiz will be taken during class time during a Zoom session and submitted before the end of the period. As you're solving the multi-step equations with variables on both sides, you're either going to get one solution where you'll write x is equal to that value, or you'll find out that the two sides don't balance, so will write no solution. And if you get an equality, you'll get infinite solutions and you'll write x is equal to all real numbers. This part here is what I will be looking for, whereas last time maybe some of you didn't do this and I just relied on your work to represent this. So again, one where it's just a number is easy, you'll just write the value. But if you get a simplified version that says that 4 does not equal 10, you must write no solution. And if you get an identity where it says 7 equals 7, you'll write x is equal to all real numbers. We'll do one of each type just as a review today. Looking at this first problem, there's nothing to simplify on the left or right, but there are variables on both sides, so let's collect them to one side by subtracting. We'll subtract that for x on both sides. On the left, I'll get 2x plus 3 equals 17. Now it becomes a two-step equation where you'll subtract 3 on both sides. Lastly, you'll divide by 2. X is equal to 7. So here's one of those cases where you get a single value and you would just simply write it out as such. In our second problem, again I see variables on both sides, but this time I need to simplify first. And as we were reminded last class, is that we multiply both terms. There's nothing to simplify on the right, so I have x plus 10. Now is when I collect those variables, so this x is going to be subtracted over on both sides. That leaves me with 3x minus 20 equals 10. We've now simplified and collected variables. We're up to the next part, which is two inverse operations. We now have 3x is equal to 30, and you'll divide. And once again, we have a single solution, x is equal to 10. So when there's just one answer, we just write that value. Still noticing variables on both sides, but I also notice some combining like terms on the left. And a distribution on the right. Next step, let's collect variables. I get 7 is equal to 6, which is a false statement, so you must write no solution for a problem like this. And again, everything that I'm doing is what you need to do, showing all the work. On to the last problem of this type. We're looking at, again, variables on both sides. Nothing to simplify on the left, but a distribution on the right. Let's move those variables over, and this is one of those cases where the variables cancel out. I now have x is equal to, x12 is equal to 12, so I can say x is equal to all real numbers. And again, that's what I'll be looking for as your solution. So it'll either be a number, as in the first two, it'll be no solution, or it'll be all real numbers. So again, showing all the work, boxing your answer, or if there's a line, put it on the line, and you're good to go. The other part was to solve for y in terms of x, isolating y, so you find your y, and you think about how you're going to get it by itself. So I'm going to first add the 8x, and I think we were pretty confident in this topic. We did a practice on this for the last couple sessions. We have 4y is equal to 8x plus 4. Y needs to be isolated, so I will divide everything by 4. That leaves me with y is equal to 2x plus 1. Divide all terms by 4. If I see a positive number or term here, I'm going to subtract it over to the other side. I'm now left with a negative 5y, taking that sign in front. My x term comes before my constant. Divide this time by a negative, and I get y is equal to 3x plus 15. The signs change when you divide by a negative. And now that last question here on this slide says, is 6 a possible solution? Remember, we didn't solve, but we replaced. So replace the value. X comes out, 6 goes in. We do the math. 24 minus 5 equals 19. So 19 does not equal 23. So you draw the conclusion that 6 is not a solution. And there you have your quiz. Any questions? We'll go over them in class today, and we'll be ready for this quiz.